I'm Ashton Addison for Investment Pitch Media, and today we have with us David Lucatch, the CEO of Liquid Avatar. David, thanks so much for taking the time and welcome to the show.
Great to be here. Thanks so much.
I've been following Liquid Avatar and formerly KABN for a while now, being a part of the blockchain space, and you guys are doing some really interesting things right now. And I would love to just kick it off for the viewers, but just getting a high-level overview of some of the initiatives that you're working on, and then we can dive into the details.
Sure. Well, thanks very much. Liquid Avatar, you've got to think of an iceberg when you think of Liquid Avatar. What people get to see is sort of 5% above the waterline. And what really happens, the magic happens is 95% below the waterline. And Liquid Avatar is in the business of really empowering people to manage, control, and benefit from the use of their online or digital identity. And we're one of the first companies to really focus on the consumer space for self-sovereign identity using blockchain technology. And we do that through the use of really cool avatars. So people get to see those avatars, and digital identity is one of those things which we really don't think too much about, because for the most part, we've been told since the start of the internet that if someone steals our identity, don't worry, we'll take care of you. If someone uses your credit card, don't worry, you won't pay for it. But that's really not quite true. We try and get your identity back if it's been stolen or there's been identity theft. Try and argue with charges if someone has used your credit card. And someone else has to pay for those charges anyways. It's not always for free. And so at the end of the day, we think of digital identity or online identity as the fourth leg of the internet chair, because we all use a browser, we all use search, and like we're doing right now, we all use communications. So that's addressable to about 100% of the market. We think digital identity is also addressable to 100% of the market. So Liquid Avatar is here to help consumers navigate that pathway.
Definitely. That's a great intro, David. And you're right, with the increase in web communications, especially since the last year and a bit, it seems that there is an increase in identity fraud as well, just over the internet, when a lot of these services now you can just connect via the web and you don't have to go in person. And I was looking into this creative aspect that Liquid Avatar has, and I think that seems really unique because digital identities aren't really, in the past, they haven't been fun, but it seems like you're adding a little flavor to this digital identity. Can you talk more about like the creative experience that you're creating for users? And is that what makes it unique or gives it a competitive advantage over other digital identity solutions?
Well, I have to tell you the honest truth, and I don't think I've said this before, but when I brought Liquid Avatar to my team, nobody liked it. No one liked the idea. And so I spent a bit of time convincing them, and then coming out of the marketing and advertising and design field, originally prior to going to the internet in the mid 90s, I really looked at how to sell it even to my own team from a creative process. And so we finally found the right artist to start working with us out of Europe, and we created the first set of avatars, and the team loved it. So I knew we were onto something. So really, it's sort of the idea behind the Rainforest Cafe, right? Someone created the Rainforest Cafe in their house, and then everybody sort of loved to come out there and eat, and that's how it was born. So we really started looking at how to connect that creative and that fun and that engaging, that sticky experience to that technology experience, because the technology is sort of a bitter pill. And I like to see, if you've ever had a pet at home, especially a small one, and I will say if you've had a cat, it's really quite difficult to give a cat a pill. So we think of the stuff below that waterline as sort of that very bitter pill. And so we sort of coat it in peanut butter or salami or cheese, and that's the avatar part. And that avatar makes it really unique, fun, and engaging to create, share, and do things with an avatar. And there's more and more services coming along that line. But the real serious utility part of our business, which we hope people will come back and use time and time again, will be our self-sovereign identity credentials, our upcoming wallet, and a lot of the other services that we're bringing to the table.
Definitely. And I want to dive into some of those initiatives in a short while here, but you mentioned adding cheese into the pill. And one thing that comes to mind when I'm looking through Liquid Avatar is the monetization and the shift in how data is collected and used for monetization purposes. It seems that on your platform, users can more own their data and monetize it on top, which obviously is a huge advantage from being used as a product and people selling our data to now becoming the one that's monetizing off that. Can you touch on Liquid Avatar's strategy on the monetization for users?
For sure. If you think of a lot of the social networks out there, you think that people are creating a lot of fake accounts. There's a lot of unknown accounts. There's a lot of non-verified accounts. Liquid Avatar strategy is one user, one account. So we use biometrics to validate someone at the beginning. Now they can change their email, they could change a password, they can change certain credentials, but we can't change our biometrics. So right away, we've set a standard that says if we're going to involve partners from a marketing side, they know they're only going to reach known users. They're not going to reach fake users, bots, hacks, anything else. They're going to reach really known users. We never sell or rent data, but through the Liquid Avatar app, we can introduce you to offers from various vendors, and they might fit your lifestyle. And if you take advantage of those offers, we get paid a commission, a spiff, a bounty, whatever you want to call it. We get paid something. So marketers are inclined to give you a better deal because they know you're a real user. Their marketing spend is more efficient. Users are inclined to take that because they get a better deal. And in between, we sit that say if the two parties come together on their own, we'll get something for that. So it's a beneficial process for the consumer. It's a beneficial process for the marketer. And certainly we have an opportunity to make money by creating those efficiencies, not by taking money from either side and diminishing their value.
Mm-hmm. And I really like that approach, David. It seems in the past, people are becoming more aware that they don't want their data to be used when it's not authorized, and that they're sort of becoming the product if it's a free platform. And for this case, it's not the case. So I really do like that. Now, some of the other initiatives you're working on, I recently saw that Liquid Avatar joined the Good Health Pass Collaborative, which is a major issue right now, which is part of the ID 2020 platform. Can you talk about joining that, and what are the specific near-term goals for Liquid Avatar in getting involved with these health passes?
Right. So I'll take a step backwards. We're actually steering committee members of the Trust Over IP Foundation. And that governance framework, some of the partners in there are included in the Good Health Pass Collaborative. So we were encouraged to join the Good Health Pass Collaborative, and it really fits into our ecosystem. We announced, I guess, several months ago, sort of a COVID healthcare credential consortium, and we've been really looking at this space. We've been building towards this space, and the Good Health Pass Collaborative has done some great work in the space with ID 2020. And so we're leveraging our experience in this space with Trust Over IP, or TOIP, and the URL there, if anyone wants to look at it, is trustoverip.org and goodhealthpass.org. And at the end of the day, we want to be involved in these initiatives because we believe we can create a utility through Liquid Avatar that will help people own, manage, and control credentials, regardless of where they come from. Regardless if they came from the Good Health Pass Collaborative or they came from another initiative, we want to be the place that they can help manage their credentials. It's sort of similar, if I can just digress for a moment, it's sort of similar when you walk into a restaurant and you want to pay. You're given multiple choices to pay. And from those multiple choices, there are different banks that support those choices. So if Visa was one of them, there might be 1,000 or 5,000 different banks that issue Visa cards. And so there's going to be credentials issued for all kinds of different things, not just health, but there's going to be credentials from everywhere. We will help issue some of our own, but we will also help our consumers navigate what they have and where, so that when they walk in somewhere, they can easily and efficiently present a credential, whether it's entering a building, whether it's going back to school, and it doesn't have to be health oriented. It could be education, it could be informational, it could be a driver's license. There's going to be all kinds of things. It could be passwords and usernames that are now in credentials. So Good Health Pass Collaborative is just one of the groups that we're joining at this time.
Definitely. And well, it seems very timely to be able to get back to normal. And I really like that approach that you are bringing, David, where it's not the end all be all to be like everyone's using Liquid Avatar for their health pass. It's back to owning your own data and having the choice of which kind of technologies and platforms that you're going to be using, right?
Well, agreed. I mean, if you think about it, and I'll pull this out, this is my wallet, right? I get to choose what goes in my wallet. This is my key ring. I get to choose, and I know it's Spider-Man, but bear with me. I get to choose what goes on my key ring. Well, we want to give users that same choice. Liquid Avatar provides that framework, that utility to allow users to manage and control those pieces of identity so they're not all over the internet and they cannot not find them. And so they've got an efficient and effective place to manage those credentials, not necessarily store them. And we don't have access to them because they're biometrically controlled. They're in the hands of the user. And one thing I will mention is we're building a tool called data guardianship. So effectively, a young child may not have their own credentials, but they need to go to school and provide certain credentials. A parent could be the guardian that provides that credential. If I'm traveling and something happens to me, my wife could have access to my data and my credentials if someone needed them. So it's not about you standing alone, the cheese standing alone. It really is about creating a system that we would have in the real world and emulating that in the digital world, and making people comfortable that the services are similar yet different and digital.
Definitely. And I really like that because you don't think of those use cases where, a child needs to have a representative guardian or somebody passes away and, how do you get access to their wallet, to their funds, to their identity to be able
Right.
to close their accounts and things like that. So that's
Exactly.
a really interesting initiative as well. And, you touched a couple times on just the fact that it's a one person, one identity. You have this unique identity. And I want to digress a little bit to another initiative that you're working on, which has unique artwork and NFTs, because I know that you're also jumping into the NFT space, which is super hot right now through the Oasis Digital Studios platform to create NFTs. This seems like perfect timing for this as well. Can you just talk about how you fit that into the spectrum of Liquid Avatar and what you're working on with that right now?
Actually, an easy way to think about this is Liquid Avatar. The avatars themselves started their journey as an NFT.
Mm-hmm.
So we looked at that as creating a digital asset. Now, we chose not to go the NFT route 2.5 years ago, but we've been very much in that space for quite some time. The other thing is a lot of the team members inside of Liquid Avatar and our partnership with Imagine AR, we're collectors. So we understand the collector's mentality. And so it was an easy situation to put this agency together because people were calling us and saying, wow, you guys got avatars, you got this. And they know us from our Rolodexes and our previous businesses. And I've done a lot of work in sports and entertainment. So a lot of people in the agencies were calling us and said, well, let's see if we can help you. And Oasis Digital Studios was born, and Oasis is an homage to the Oasis in the movie Ready Player One or the book Ready Player One. And so we formed the studio, and it's been like lightning in a bottle for us. We've got some major projects. We're doing an upcoming event called NFT, Myths, Markets, Media, and Mania. And it's the registration for that is amazing. It's a free event that we're doing. And so we really want to educate people on the collectability of NFTs. We want to bring people rich, rewarding, and effective programs. But really, our mantra is storytelling, creating experiential opportunities, and collectible opportunities. So it's a lot of fun, but again, it could be very profitable for the company as well.
Totally. And I did see that event that you have coming up. So I will be taking an interest in that. And there are a lot of myths around the future of NFTs. And looking back 2.5 years ago when you did create Liquid Avatar, it was NFTs were in their infancy, right? Crypto Kitties was one of the first ones, and it seemed very joke-like at the time. And now with major artists coming in, it seems there's a lot of original artwork that's actually being bought and has a lot more value than a kitty. But to some, kitty does have a lot of value. But in terms of having more attraction to the platform, is part of the go-to-market strategy to work with artists and more reputable artwork, or do you have other go-to-market strategies on how to attract more people to the Oasis Studios?
Well, first of all, over the next few weeks, and especially at this event, people will start to see some of the projects we have. I mean, we recently announced that we have John Lennon's Lost Weekend photos, and frankly, we have an exclusive photo which we haven't talked about yet. That is a piece of music history, and then we've also announced some artists and some comic book people, and there'll be a lot more. So we're really working with emerging artists, but also very well-known, reputable artists. We want to balance both. We want to give young artists and emerging artists the ability to come into the industry and guide them and provide them with expertise that they might not otherwise have. And at the same time, we want to take, well-known artists who may not be of the demographic that would be consuming an NFT initially, but they want to get into this new wild and wonderful world, and they understand a little bit about copyright protection, and we want to be able to help them as well. So we're not sort of looking at fleeting moments. We're looking at longevity as the opportunity.
Definitely, and I think that's the right way to go. Build the business as it would be growing forever, and
Sure.
and see how it plays out. Now, we talked about a lot of different initiatives, and 2021. I know your schedule is probably packed with updates for Liquid Avatar overall. Can you give a glimpse into the next 6 months? Sort of what are the major roadmap milestones that your team's looking to achieve and get out to the public?
Sure. So when we launched Liquid Avatar on February 18th, we announced effectively the 4 first phases, and we've launched on time the second phase, and our third phase is in development for hopefully late April. And it will be launching our credentials wallet, our SSI wallet for identity credentials. And that is a major milestone. And we'll be one of the first companies in the world to power consumer wallets with credentials. And I could get into some very deep technical views of this, but frankly, it's going to be a secure way for you to hold and manage digital credentials. And that's not similar to an edge wallet like you'd have on your phone, but this is an online wallet, and it's not a currency wallet; it's a credentials wallet. So that's a very important part for us. And then in May, we're launching our augmented reality platform with Imagine AR. So those are 2 major pieces that we're looking at. We've got a lot of surprises, and those 4 round off our foundational pieces, and then we'll be adding a lot of bells and whistles. We're just looking at a university program right now and a college program in the US, and we've got a lot of marketing milestones that we're working on as well. And then aside from that, we've got our KABN Visa card coming out in the next short while, which we've been telling everybody about, but we've kind of put that on a little bit on the back burner last year to get Liquid Avatar out the door, but now we're full steam ahead with that. KABN Cash has got over 400 major vendors on board now. So there's a lot of things on the go, and our NFT programs are growing. So, it's a lot of early mornings and a lot of late nights, but they're all exciting.
It's definitely exciting, David. And for the viewers and investors that are looking to find out more about all these initiatives and follow as they come out, what's the best way for them to stay involved?
Well, you could go to liquidavatartechnologies.com and sign up for our email blast. We do what's called the weekly buzz. So our subscribers get something every week. As it stands. Can't promise you it'll always be every week, but it's every week so far. And they could go to liquidavatar.com and see what Liquid Avatar is all about. And just follow us. Our symbol is LQID on the CSE. And we're TRWRF right now in the US, but we are in the process of upgrading that listing as well.
Great. Thank you so much for the time, David. All the best with Liquid Avatar moving forward. And let's follow up in the near future.
You got it. Thank you. It was such a pleasure.